Hello, in this tutorial I'm going to be going over debugging of my VRC face tracking templates. My VRC face tracking templates is on GitHub. Uh, Basically it has the directions and also some setup information here. But in this tutorial I'll go over some things if you accidentally miss a step you can catch, or try to fix an avatar if there's problems. So to go on with, I have set up multiple Nova Beasts with different problems that I actually added to them, and showing you how to actually debug them. Uh, the recommendation I have is actually debug in Unity first, then trying to do it in VRChat. The problem with doing it in VRChat, you may introduce other problems. It could be some OSC basically not sending information correct. So I like always to do it in Unity first to make sure that it actually works. One of the things I use is AV3 emulator. So AV3 emulator by Luma. I use this to debug it. This is sort of a branch off the gesture manager, but I like AV3 emulator because it works really, really well for testing face tracking. So in order to run AV3 emulator, you'll have to go into play mode. Just note that I do have a custom layout of my Unity. I have things laid out so it's actually easier for me to get to and actually see. You can change layouts or save layouts in the top right corner. There's a quick tip there. So what we'll do is go into play mode. And what we'll do is VRC Fury is going to build. And one of my ones, I caused it to, looks like it failed with too many parameters. Now this is a very common warning if you go over the parameter limit. VRC Fury is building on runtime, so parameters are not part of the main parameter list of the avatar. So it looks like clone 1 is too many parameters, clone 2 too many parameters, and clone and broken 3 also has too many parameters. VRC Fury will allow you to play it with too many parameters, but if you upload to VRChat, it will not work. So, in order to run AV3 emulator, you're going to hit Tools, Avatar 3.0 Emulator, Enable. So everything's going to go into the standing pose. So just as a demo of what it should look like, this is a working version of it. So I'll just click that one. So you have to click it in its hierarchy. Then in the hierarchy, you're going to have this gesture manager AV3 menu. Click the menus, enable lip tracking, face tracking. That's what will enable the basic animations. Then scrolling down to the runtime user inputs, floats, and there will be these FT v2 variables. These are your face tracking variables that are being sent by basically OSC. So in order to run them or test them, you just basically drag them up and down. You see things move. You can do left, right. Eyelid normal state is going to be 0.75. So if you go wider, the eyes go wide. Then you go to 0, it closes the eye. Now you can. There's some of these shapes that are what do you call additive. They go with other type of shapes. So in order to try to make this cleaner, so we have a lot of blend shape, basically fizz bones being shown here. You can actually hide the fizz bones by this gizmo icon in the top right of the scene. Click that, it can go away so you can actually see the face. You can do jaw open. So that opens up the jaw. And then mouth close is an additive to jaw open. So that makes the lips go together. Now, if you just do mouth closed by itself, it's going to do weird things. That's not normal. It's never going to it's not supposed to trigger higher than jaw open. That's one of those additive ones. You have basically mouth upper up, lower down, and up and down, smile and frown. Most of these variables are going to be positive only. Some of them that are exclude, basically they never happen together, will be like mouth frown left right, and like mouth X. So that gives you a little of a general idea how that works with the blend shapes, and it's all floats. Previous tutorials have it with basically using the bools, but the latest version uses all floats for local, but it switches to a binary system for remote because of the limitations of parameters for your avatar. So in order to test that, what you do, so you can scroll down, I believe, nope, scroll up, will be player, local, network clones. That's what we need. So network clones in sync, create network clone. It's going to create a network clone. So it's going to be a clone of this, but it's going to be a remote. So this is going to be local if you were using it. This is for if somebody else is seeing your avatar, which is the remote user. So you can move that around. I can click that and I can move that out of the way, off to the side. Now, if I move these shapes, they both, with the floats that are on both avatars, because, oops, I need to do that one. Click the wrong one. So if I do this one, they should both go up, both go down, both go left, right. And now the only ones that are floats remote are going to be the eye positions, eyelids, jaw, mouth closed, and mouth upper up. Everything else is going to be bools. So if I do smile, frown, that, it's only going to affect the local one. You can see it's only affecting that one. But if I go to the bools, now you have this bool list of for the binary system. You have 1, 2, 4. This uses a bits, so it only uses 4 bits for something that would normally take 8, and that's how we compress down the face tracking. So all you have to do is do the max one, which is going to be this one, the most significant one. So you click this, and it goes up, and it goes down when you hit the negative. So it's going to the positive, negative of that bool value. You can do that with other shapes, and it's only going to affect the remote, and that basically proves that those work. So that one's working, and that's just how the general way of testing it. Now I have these other broken ones. Let's go to broken one here. So I'm going to enable face tracking on this one, and just double check that I have the right one selected. I have the right one selected. So I'm going to just use the floats. So I'm going to do eyelid up and down. So it only looks like my ears are moving. Well, that doesn't work right. Why is that not working? Now, a thing I have on my templates is a debug panel. If you do that, if you click that, it'll pop up here. And this you can be used in VRChat or in the actual Unity. You can see this is moving, which is good. So the frame time thing moving, that's a good thing. Now I'm going to drag this. And I'm going to drag this up and down. Now you can see over here, I closed. It's supposed to be a value of 1. Oops. Oh, right. This is inverse. So if it goes to 0, it's going to be the closed blend shape is going to be a value of 1. If it goes to 0.7, it's going to be 0. So in that blend shape, it's not getting activated. Well, let's check other ones. Well, that's not being activated also. Well, none of these are activating. Why is this not activating? Well, okay, let's look at the avatar. So one of the common things is, let's say I did an update on this and I don't really know Blender very well. Well, let's look at this avatar in the hierarchy and let's see what we got here. Well, if you look at this, the body is named, it's not named body. Per my setup on that, it is critical that the face tracking animations are pointing to body. These animations don't get changed if they are if the mesh changes. These animations are going to be pointing to body, but which doesn't exist. It's body 0.001. So either we're going to update the FBX and get rid of the 001, or we can modify the actual component for the face tracking. So in order to modify it to a different blend shape name, or not blend shape name, but different mesh name, we're going to have to unpack this. And I'm going to unpack this, unpack that also. And so once we unpack it, then we can edit things. And so it says these paths are animated in the controller, but they're not found in the avatar. Well, it's complaining that the body doesn't exist. So we're going to go into advanced options. And there's a thing called path rewrite rules in VRC Fury. If you click that, it says if animated path has this prefix, then rewrite it to this prefix. So our default one is body. And we're going to rewrite it to body.001. Now, it turned from red to yellow. Yellow is just a warning. It's just saying that things are going to have to be changed in order to make this work. So now I have that updated. So that rewrites it from the animations to body 0.001 on the avatar. So once you do that, that covers one of the full controllers. The other thing we'll change is the debug. Debug is still pointing to body, so what you'll do is you have to unpack that. Click out. So it'd be body 0.001. Now it's going to show up. And so what's going to do is it'll pair up to the blend shapes that are on the mesh. So it's doing a blend shape link between these two. So once that's done, we should be able to animate that body mesh. So I'll go back into play mode. It's going to I forgot about the parameter space issue. We'll cover that a little bit later. I'll let just go through warnings. Okay. Now I'm going to click avatar emulator again. Broken 1. And we're going to actually I don't need the debug right now. So what we'll do is I'll do the user inputs and do now it actually moves. So we reanimated it to that new mesh name. And what you can tell is when I do the debug now, so I closed, will now activate and the green dots will move. So the white is going to be the raw data from OSC, which is in the animator. The green is actually what's active on the avatar and blend shape. So that is good. Okay. That is the first broken avatar. Now, I purposely broke this one. So let's try this one, which is 2. Let me do that. Now this one's still named right. The body is correct. Now, what did I break in here? Well, let's see. One of the things I do is I do actually go through the blend shapes on the avatar. I actually go through all these. So let's say I could test that. That one's moving. That one's moving. And you just go through these. And check those. Well, okay. It looks like the funnel's not working. Well, let's look at this. So, if I go to debug, can do lip funnel. Well, it's not activating, so that means that it's not animating this shape. Well, let's see what's wrong with that. Let's go into the body. Go to so you click the mesh, then you hit the blend shapes, scroll down, and let's try to find lip funnel. What? Well, okay. Well, it looks the same. It's spelled right. What's going on here? So, one of the things about Blender is it can do things that are not advisable to do for a blend shape name. Let me open it up for you quickly. Let's see, this was broken too. Okay. So let's open up the Blender file for this. And let's click on the mesh and go down to blend shapes. And let's look at lip funnel. Well, it looks like it's named right. Let's look at basically my spreadsheet. Well, so I have a spreadsheet where we can look at. And just double check. So lip funnel, well, that's spelled right. Well, why is it not working? Well, let's just double click this. Oh, what's going on here? Well, if you look really closely, oops, dang it. If you look really closely here, if you don't, it'd probably be an issue with the screen size, but let's just zoom in this a little bit. If I double click this, there's a space back here. Yeah, if you have to remove that space. Blender allows you to put spaces on the end of a blend shape name, which is a awful thing to do because you cannot tell it's wrong. So that's a I've seen that issue before. So get rid of the space at the end. Now, obviously, going through my blend shape list, I can also double check if these are named right. So if I go through here and say lip pucker. Oh, lip pucker. That's not supposed to have that there, so I need to get rid of that. And you can just make sure you go through these and just make sure they follow the spreadsheet. If obviously with some experience you actually can tell it's wrong. Well, if I look there, this is case sensitive. So lip suck upper. That's actually supposed to be capitalized, so that's supposed to be capitalized. On those. And once you basically go through these, you can actually you have to sometimes go back and forth and try to figure out what's going on with a certain blend shape. Let's see. On the next thing I have, so let's fix the too many parameter issue. So let's look at my template. So I'm using unlimited parameters, and I think when I was using the tool, that Pumpkin's tool, it didn't copy over unlimited parameters. So if I do VRC Fury, unlimited parameters, beta, and let's see, unlimited parameters. And what's I'm going to do is basically it will take all the float and integer controls in your avatar menu, and we'll sort of compress them down to 16, basically the size of 16 parameters. One of the issues is it is a slow sync type of. What it'll do is it'll go through all your toggles and it'll sync them and like cycle through. So anything that's like you need to have really fast, maybe not have it as unlimited parameters, but anything that's like a texture or like a sort of a toggle switch on your avatar for close, unlimited parameters is perfect for that. So I need to add it to all these. And as I fix that, I'll just leave that alone for now. I know that's broken, so. Okay. Now do this, go play mode again. Okay, so it says broken 3 has failed and basically it has too many parameters. So it's a 271, even though I have unlimited parameters. So what we'll do is we need to figure out why this is still out of space with unlimited parameters. So what you can do is once you're in play mode, you can actually click this parameters and you take you to this folder. So VRC Fury takes all builds and throws it into this temp folder, which is all like the built avatar. So it has like the face tracking and everything combined together. And you can use this to like sort of debug of what's going on. So if I click this parameter list, so anything that's part of the unlimited parameters is going to be unsynced. So it looks like that we have the hide colliders, hide goggle, floor height, and these main chest fluff and everything is all unsynced. But it looks like these fluff squish left and right, these are all looks like something that you'd use for like fizz bones to do actions. So these probably can do in local space. We can probably unsync those, as those are not those are not in your radio menu. We probably can unsync those to bring it back. So hide ears also doesn't seem like it's actually being synced. Then all this is all the face tracking stuff. So this is all face tracking stuff over there. And for some odd reason, the horizontals are not being part of the unlimited parameters. It's probably because those are live and those are like a puppet. That's why. So let's get rid of the squish. So if we go to this avatar parameters, click the parameters. So we'll unsync those. So remote users, even though this is a fizz bone, so it should be synced, but it will only sync if the user is looking at the fizz bone, I believe. That's how I think it works. So obviously it'd be ideal to be synced, but it doesn't need to be synced. So basically you can unsync those. If you hit that to play mode again, it should be able to build. So we're going to build all the avatars again. Now, let's see if I click this, what the parameter list looks like we're at 239 out of 256, which is good. So we are under the parameter list, so parameter limit, so that will work. Okay. Now I'm gonna go to VR chat, and then I'll show you how to debug in game. So once you're in VR, what you'll do is open up your radio menu. In expressions, face tracking. Make sure that the lip tracking and eye tracking is active, and then there's the debug. Opening the debug will basically show you all the different parameters being activated, with the circles being the actual raw values coming from OSC. Then everything with the green is the actually blend shapes on the face. So if I blink, the shapes will move via the debug menu. Now you can check and try to move every one of them. Obviously, I'm using the Quest Pro right now, which doesn't have everything. Some things that the Quest Pro won't have is tongue left, right, up, and down at this current time of recording. Some other stuff may be a little bit not as sensitive as other headsets, and vice versa. But this will give you a good idea if something's working or not. So in this case, this avatar is working just fine. Obviously, if you have just the nothing moving at all, make sure parameters are loading on VRCFT application. If it's not loading on the VRCFT application, try to be on the latest version of VRCFT, or try to reset your VRChat OSC configs, because when you upload a avatar, if you upload a non face tracking avatar, then you upload a face tracking avatar, VRChat doesn't reset the OSC config, so it never actually gets any OSC data to be sent to VRChat. So resetting the configs will force VRChat to make a new OSC config. So once everything's moving, we're good. In this template I'm using, this is the Unified Expressions template debug. These will change depending on what type of face track and blend shapes are on your avatar. So if I switch to one of my broken avatars, so right now this is off by default. So if I turn it back, I need to turn on this avatar, lip tracking, eye tracking. Then I will do the debug. So in this example, I have some of the shapes that are not working on purpose. And this was the one with the lip pucker and lip funnel. So if I do the lip funnel, the white circle's moving, but the green is not moving. Same with the pucker. If I do the kissy lips, it won't move the lip pucker. So those are a good example of what things are not moving and are not working. And earlier we did that in Unity, but this is a good way to test it also in VRChat to see if there's something that's not working properly that you missed in Unity. Other than that, that's basically how you test in here. Just also a notable mention, I do place the template version on the debug menu so you can keep track of what version of the template you are on when you have an avatar. So I know that the debug menu does take one bool, as it's a network synced with other users. You can make it unsynced for other users, so they don't see it, and you can save a parameter for your avatar. But I like it. It's neat to show to other people, so I have it enabled by default. And that's basically how you test a avatar.